Hey, I'm ChristopherJMUA and welcome back to my channel. Unless you've never been here, of course, then welcome. I'm very glad you've stopped by, because today we have a very special guest. Meet MmmMitchell palette. Obviously, as you can see, this is the Me, Myself, and MmmMitchell palette. And we are here to do a review on this palette today after much deliberation and waiting. Same difference. So if you want to see what the inside of this box looks like, just like I do, and if the anticipation is killing you and you just can't stand it anymore, then stay exactly where you are, keep doing exactly what you're doing, and keep on watching. Okay guys, as you can see, we have the Me, Myself, and MmmMitchell palette collaboration with Beauty Bay. If you did not know, I just explained it, essentially. BeautyBay.com is a website for cosmetics that has a lot of products sold for UK, like a lot of American items that they wouldn't be able to get unless it was for Beauty Bay, I think, anyway. And MmmMitchell is a UK-based influencer slash makeup artist. I will link his channel below, and I will also link Beauty Bay below so that you can check both of them out in case you haven't heard of them, don't know them, want to familiarize yourself with them and understand exactly what it is that I'm talking about. So if you do need to go ahead and freshen up on that information, go ahead, I'll wait. Okay, and we're back. Now this palette, since it did ship from, I think, the UK, no, I'm sure it shipped from the UK. I know it was international. It took a little bit longer than a US shipment would have taken because I definitely am US based. And this is a pressed pigment palette and it was $36. It's actually really not bad pricing, especially for it being a 32 pan palette. Now on the front, you can see we have the rainbowy colors and the bottom is reflective, almost like iridescent. And then on the back of the unit carton, we have a little insert from Mitchell here and then all the ingredients down below. The little insert says, "Hey guys, first of all, I love you. I can't believe the day has come for me to launch this palette with Beauty Bay and I'm so excited for you guys to try it out. This was honestly one of my biggest dreams and as a team we made it come true. So to thank you guys for all your support and your constant love, I made our dream palette affordable, highly pigmented, and of course inspirational so that we never have to think which eyeshadow look should I go for today. Me, Myself, and MmmMitchell is for you and for me. It's something we can share as a representation of the journey you guys have taken me on. As a makeup artist, I understand that we need versatility in our palettes, so I created this one with a mix of neutrals, bold and bright mattes, and sparkly shimmers. It was made with love, consideration, and skill. So hopefully with this palette, your makeup dreams can come true as well. You guys have become more than just followers. You guys are my friends, my family, and to all together, the reason I made this palette. So thank you for making all of this a reality. Oh, and lastly, I love you to infinity." That's cute because Mark and I, my boyfriend, if you don't know him, I'll link a video up here so you can get to know him. Anyway, we say to each other, we love each other to infinity and beyond, like Buzz Lightyear, you know? Super cute. Anyway, let's go ahead and open up this palette and check it out. I haven't opened this at all yet and I'm so excited. I showed Mark earlier that I got it in, but I wouldn't take it out to show him. I was just like, look, see what I got? Okay, that's all. Oh, beautiful bubble wrap. Oh man, just love that. And now the palette. Oh, now the outside of this palette actually tells a story, but I will let Mitchell explain that to you himself in the video that I linked down below. He actually announced this palette and introduced it himself and did swatches himself, but I still have to do swatches. That's what we do here. We do swatches. So we will be doing swatches. This is an in-depth review, okay? Anyway, I'll still link that video below so that you can check out his release if you want to, but it does tell a story and I'll let him tell you about that one. We're just gonna look at it. It does have beautiful artwork all around it, both the front and the back. And what I think is the most unique about this palette and what I think is really, really cool is the fact that whenever you open it very carefully, it has the shades and a mirror that is removable. Oh, I have a broken shade. I have to email them. Well, I just emailed Beauty Bay and we will see what solution that they come up with. I will let you guys know what we ended up doing. Either way, that's not going to stop this review. Now, what I was saying is I really like the fact that it has a removable mirror, and apparently the mirror can also, oh yes, okay, the middle is magnetic, so it just sticks there, but you can pretty much sit it down and like do your makeup like you would, you know, if you were just sitting there doing your makeup. And I think that is really awesome. That's very unique. I don't really think I've ever seen that in a palette before, so I think it's really cool. I could potentially see how it could be slightly bothersome if you didn't ever use it like that or didn't want it for that, but I could see it being useful. Now, for now, I'm gonna sit the mirror over to the side because we're not gonna be using it right now because I do have my own mirror to use. And let's go ahead and peel off the coating or the plastic. That is really stuck on there. Oh, it stays. Okay, so this will stay there. You finish using it, you close it back, and then it just sticks again. Ha! I like that. That is effective. Okay, I like that very much. Ooh, yeah, not gonna open that side yet. I'm gonna have to sit that down and open that. But I really like the fact that you can reclose the plastic parts so that it'll stop you from getting powder everywhere and making a mess, especially whenever you have a broken shade. Okay, so I'm gonna sit this down so that I stop getting the shade Morgan, which is the broken shade, all over everything inside the palette. And we are going to zoom in and get started on some swatching. After I tell you a little bit about the palette from beautybay.com. The description from the website says, a collection of 32 matte and shimmer eyeshadows. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. Introducing me, myself, and MmmMitchell. Featuring 32 super intense pressed pigments, this palette has every shade you could possibly need, from mattes and shimmers to transition shades and pops of color. The super light pigments have next level color payoff that can be layered and blended to achieve your favorite looks. Whatever your vibe, this palette is the perfect match. It's vegan and cruelty free. Now, the swatches. This first shade is called Manchester. Then the shade Macaroni. I'm sorry, but I don't think I would be eating macaroni if it was that color. The shade Modest. These are so soft. Like, I'm almost scared to push down very hard because they're so soft. I bet you that's why Morgan broke. They feel so good though. And then the shade Melted. Oh, wow. Whew. Man. That is a shimmer. Wow, jeez. That is pretty impressive, gotta say. And then what the last shade made me, Mental. If I keep making these swatches this big, I'm never gonna fit 32 of them on my arm. And then Man-Made. And the shade Mixer. Seriously, if you guys get this palette, you have to remember to go into it very, very softly. It's not one of those palettes you have to push down firmly into at all. And then we have the shade Muffin. Mitchell! Oh my gosh! Ugh! This palette is sick. Man. And the next shade is called Muse. The next one is MMMMad. Then the shade Mr. H. Then the shade Meaty. Ooh. Okay, these shimmers are just decadent. They are beautiful, that's all. I'm gonna stop being surprised now because I just expected goodness out of them now. Now I know. Then our last row on the warm tone side, this is Minnie. I pushed into that way too hard, so I have a lot of little crumbly pieces. Then the shade Morning Glory. That took nothing to build that up to a solid, beautiful, neon-y type pink. They're usually much harder to do. This is the shade Milkshake. I love strawberry milkshakes so much. And then the shade Michelle. Ah! It's so beautiful. Wow. I'm gonna try to fit the other side, the cool tone side, on my arm as well. We might have to switch partway through, but we'll figure it out when we get there. I just want to try and capture everything in one image when I'm done. Okay, I'm gonna try and use my pinky for the rest of these swatches, and my pinky only, so that I refrain from making them too big. So the first shade on the cool tone side is Maine. Next shade is Monday. I have a feeling I'm gonna hate this color. Get it? Because we hate Mondays. Unless you're an alien, then you might love Mondays. Then we have the shade Mafia. Then the shade Master. And again, absolutely stunning, blowing my mind here. Next is Mardy. It's so weird, my swatch is so much bigger with matte shades than it is with shimmers. I don't know why. No, not my white shirt. Now the shade Shmoney. Ooh. Then the shade Meh. Next is the shade Minty. That just made my heart happy. Next is the shade Marine. so excited. Then the shade Moody Mitch. And the shade Mist. Wow, I love that. Next is the shade Miracle. Then this is the non-broken side of Morgan. Then the shade Miles High. The shade Motto. Oh man, this is gonna just barely fit. I mean, it didn't fit on my arm at all, but it's just gonna fit down my arm and hand. And the last shade on the cool tone side is Mega. Whoa! Wow, oh my gosh. That is like an ocean. It's so soft and creamy too. Man. And that is the entire Me, Myself, and MmmMitchell palette. Warm side and cool side. And as always, I will insert photos of the palette, one with flash here, and one without flash here. And as always, here is a video of all of the swatches, close up and in person, so that you can see everything, including that random hair. Those swatches were beautiful. Swatch-wise, this palette definitely does not fail to perform. But now let's see if it's the same case for performing on the eyes. Now, Beauty Bay did respond to my email, about the shade Morgan being broken. This palette is actually sold out at the moment on beautybay.com, so they couldn't really offer me like an immediate replacement, but they gave me two options. They said that I could either get refunded 25% of the value of the palette, or I could return the palette for a full refund. I can't let this palette go. I can't. Especially since it's sold out and I can't get another one right now. So I'm just gonna keep it with the 25% off. I just want to let you guys know what the outcome of that was. I did try and repress this. I have my Moon Mousse Magic Makeup Repair Kit, and all I did was use the square presser tool and press it back in. I didn't actually use the mousse because I didn't want to break the entire shadow apart, which is what's required to repair it with the mousse. So I just literally just pressed it back in, and I hope that that will at least help it last. I just know that I have to be careful with it. I'm pretty sure I might end up just repressing it, like breaking it all apart, putting the mousse in, and then pressing it in all the way. But for now, I'm just gonna keep it like it is and deal with it and just be careful. I just can't take it places right now. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyes with the P. Louise base. I feel like this is perfect for this because this brand is from the UK, so I'm using like UK things. Okay, I'm gonna start out with the Sigma E35 tapered blending brush, and let me zoom you guys in a little bit closer. or a lot a bit closer. Are we close enough? Because I feel like we're close enough. Okay, so I'm gonna first go into the shade Modest and set my base. A lot of kickback, like a lot of kickback. Let me show you. I just tapped 3 or 4 times in the pan. Well, you can't see it, okay? Well, there was quite a bit of kickback, which honestly, lately, I've been looking at that as a good thing. Is that weird? To me, it's just almost saying like that it's gonna be really pigmented because it's so soft, but it is definitely without a doubt very soft. Do you ever wonder where all of the powder that you dust off of like brushes and like your setting powder and stuff, do you ever wonder where all of that goes? I know a lot of it goes into my lungs. I also know a lot of it goes on top of all of my stuff because I look around and I think it's dust, but really it's just setting powder. Okay, that's it. These little plasticky thingy, oh, I can't take it off because that shade's broken. Man, I was gonna say the little cover thingies here have to go, but the one on the cool tone side is protecting the shade Morgan, so I have to leave it. That's okay, I'll survive. My base is now set. I think that I might have limited myself at what direction I can go at this point because I did like a warm tone peachy tan in my crease. So really I can only go warm tone now because it would look weird if I did a cool tone color mixed in with this. So I think this look might be a warm tone look today. Now using the Morphe M456, it's almost like a tiny M433, a flat-ish blending brush. And now I'm gonna go into the shade MMMMad and I'm gonna start building that up in the inner corner crease area and blending out the shade Modest with it up here. Also very, very soft and crumbly, like fallouty. Wow, that is very pigmented. Jeez, I kind of thought I was gonna be building that up a little bit more, but that's really red. Now this is already kind of a little more red than I originally intended, and I also meant to keep the red a little more toward the crease because I wanted that Modest shade to be on the outside, but I can't really go back and fix that now. So what I'm gonna do is just build this red color up here first and then blend it out with the shade Modest and hope that maybe the red will kind of stay saturated toward the center but still blend out. Okay, now I'm gonna start trying to blend it out a little bit with the shade Modest on the outsides. These shades blend together really well. Now I'm gonna go in with my Morphe M433 brush. This is pretty much the big version of the Morphe M456, kind of the same. And this time I'm gonna go into the shade Minnie and I'm gonna start putting that on the outer crease area. This is so pigmented. And I'm trying to build this tone up in the crease as well, up in the front with the lighter red shade, because I wanted to add a little bit of definition up there while I'm adding it on the outer crease area as well, because I'm still gonna go in and deepen up the outer crease, but I wanna deepen up the inner crease at the same time as I'm adding the shade to the outer crease, if that makes sense. Those shades went together so perfect. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. Now I'm gonna go back into the shade Modest, but I'm gonna use my Morphe M507 really small detail blending brush, and I'm gonna go around the edges of MmmMMad and Minnie up at the top and blend those out with that shade. I really like that. It's like a really soft blend, but it almost makes it look like it's blending into my skin tone when it's really just an eyeshadow shade, but still, it's very pretty. It's very soft. Now I'm gonna go into my other Morphe M433 brush, and this time I'm gonna go into the shade Muse, and I'm gonna put that in my outer crease, but I'm gonna kind of condense it to a smaller portion of the crease. I'm essentially just gonna try and use it to deepen it up and to add a little more dimension to the look, but I don't wanna go too far inward and take away from the brighter red that I already have. I think I'm actually starting to get to a point where I have so much shadow built up that I can't really build more on top of it because I can't really see that shade. Well, I guess I can a little bit. It looks more like a deeper mahogany than it does a purple. I guess I can. It's just hard to see because it's so close to the other shade. Oh, there we go. I just didn't build it up enough. There it is. But see how that just adds just enough definition to make it look deeper in the crease, but not take away from the colors that are already there. I really, really like that. Okay, and that's enough with that one. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and clean up my lid with some micellar water and some Q-tips. And then I'm gonna cut my crease and we're gonna continue past that. So now I'm gonna go in with my E62 cut crease brush from Sigma and my P. Louise base and cut my crease. There's not really a whole lot of cutting I have to do anymore. Now I just have to stay in the lines, but you get the idea. Now, since I have hooded eyes, I don't want to deal with transfer today. That's just not something I want to be part of my life at this particular moment in time. So I'm gonna put a line of eyeshadow base right on my lash line, but not on my lashes. Not on my lashes. Right on my lash line. As far as I want it to go, then I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna relax my eyes how they would be normally, which means it's gonna go up really, really high, like really, really high. Look up and around, bring it around town. Bring it around town. And then I made a little cut right up there where it transferred. So that's where I'm gonna cut out. And I'm gonna cut it right up to that point and then stop. Okay, I feel like I'm cut to the point that I want to be cut at. So I still have the outer edge here available to put that deeper reddish shade on, the shade Muse, to build that up there if I want to, which I think I will. But for now, it's time to add some color on my lid. So using my Morphe M204 brush, flat packing brush, I'm gonna go into the shade Moody Mitch. I don't normally go this dark whenever I start out with a lid shade when I do a cut crease, but I am this time. Okay, so blue. Ooh, she pretty. Now I'm not tapping off any excess from this shade after I dip it in the palette. I'm keeping all the pigment on there because I don't want to lose any of it when I take it from pan to eye. That's why I like to start with my eyes now instead of my face like I used to. Well, not only because my facial expressions while I'm putting on eyeshadow would cause a bunch of creases, but also fallout. This way you can truly get maximum pigmentation from a shadow because you're not tapping off the excess shadow from your brush. You can just really go in and pack it on and not have to worry. Okay, I think the shade Moody Mitch is applied as intensely and accurately as I would like it to be in this particular moment. So now I'm gonna go into the shade Marine and start packing that right on that inner corner where there is no pigment. And I'm gonna use the Morphe M326. Ooh, that's very chunky. You gotta be careful with that one if you're gonna pack it on a cut crease, with the edges, I mean. But man, that is beautiful. I don't know that I have any shade like this. Wow. That is gorgeous. Now let's see how well it's gonna blend in with a matte. Well, so far so good. That's really, really pretty. Feel like maybe it needs to be blended just a little bit more. Like maybe it's not as smooth of a blend as I'd like, but I'm gonna try and add a little bit more and see if I can possibly get it where I want it to be. I don't know where that is just yet. I know I want it to look more blended. So adding on more shimmer first and then pulling it outward. And now I'm gonna go back into the shade Muse on the warm tone side, and I'm gonna use the Morphe M433 again that I had that shade on, and I'm gonna just add this back onto the outer crease area so it'll start kind of tying in together with the lid, but I'm not gonna blend it into the blue shade just yet. Oh, actually, I'm gonna pat down some eyeshadow base first, not in any specific spot, just where there is no base now. I forgot about it. And pat out the edge. Okay, and now going back in with Muse on the outer edge. Now, why I wanted to keep a space between the blue and the shade Muse is because one is warm toned and one is cool toned. They have different bases, so I don't feel like they would blend together very well. And now to try and fix that, I'm gonna take the Morphe M332 Fluffy Blending Brush again. And this time I'm gonna go into the shade Motto, which looks almost as deep as Muse, but Muse is more of a red-brown. Motto is more of a cool purple type shade. And I'm gonna use this as my transition shade between Moody Mitch and Muse. Maybe, if it works. If not, everything I just said was wrong and won't work. I'm getting just a little bit of a patch over the blue area where like the blue was already set and now I'm adding color on top of it. It's not wanting to stick there. Yeah, that's just not wanting to stick there. And actually, the more I try to apply, the more comes off. Well, I guess what I'm gonna do is take off everything from here back and start again and see what happens. All right, so we're essentially back to the point where we've cut the crease, except we have the blue done already. Now I'm just gonna pat out the edges of this, kind of blend in the base with the blue, because I'm just gonna go back in and add the blue in again, and then we're just gonna blend it in to the purple in the outer corner instead of adding in the extra shade Motto, because obviously once you put a shade down on top of the base, Motto doesn't want to go on top of another shade. I guess that's just the way it is, and that's okay. And you know, honestly, that's just kind of the thing with pressed pigments. You just have to figure out what their limitations are, because they're very pigmented and they're very powerful, but because of that, you can only build them up so much. All right, the blue is laid on. I had to kind of clean up a little bit under my eyes because it was getting kind of excessive a little bit, like a lot of a little bit. So now that I have the blue built up, I want to be very careful as to what else I put on top of it, because obviously that shade doesn't want to blend with other shades very nicely, or at least not the shade Motto. It doesn't want to blend with the shade Motto. That's all I know for sure. So what I'm gonna try is just to go into the shade Muse, which is what I used in my crease to deepen it up out here, and I'm gonna try and blend Muse into the shade Moody Mitch and like blend those this way into each other. Now I'm gonna take the Morphe M200 Fluffy Blending Brush and I'm gonna go into the shade Mafia. It's a black, I know, but this brush has a little bit of taper on it, so I'm gonna use this right in the outer corner and the outer corner only and deepen up the shade Muse so that it can blend in to Moody Mitch nicely. And I'm pulling that outward just so it blends into the little wing shape that I kind of have going over here. I'm pretty sure that I'm happy with that. I'm pretty sure. So I'm gonna try and duplicate it on the other side. And once I potentially do that, I will be right back. So I'll see you in about half a second. As you can see, I've finished the other eye. It now matches the other side for the most part. The light shade in the center, I feel like stayed a little bit lighter for a little bit longer toward the inner corner, and it kind of died down on the outer corner because it started turning blue a lot faster. However, they're for the most part the same. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean up under my eyes and go ahead and complete the rest of my face makeup so that we can move on to the lower lash line and pretty much finish off the eye look. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all of that off camera, and once I finish it, I will be right back. Welcome back, even though you never left. Now, as you can see, I have finished off the rest of my face makeup, mostly. I did save a little bit of products like my blush because I wanted to go into this palette. What I really like about this palette, and I didn't think about this before, but I am now, is that it has bigger pan sizes, so you can use the shades in it for blush or highlighter, any kind of face products. Now, I did use highlighter already because none of these eyeshadow shades as highlighters were specifically like calling to me, but the shade Mr. H definitely called to me as a blush. I feel like it's got a perfect like peachy pink undertone that I feel like it's gonna make a perfect blush. So I'm gonna go in with my Morphe M104 blush brush and I'm gonna pat into the shade Mr. H. Oh, perfect size. Perfect size. And now just gonna lightly pat it on. Wow, okay. That was very pink. Actually, that was a lot more pink than I was anticipating, but there it is. That is really pretty. Okay, so definitely went a little ham on the blush, which I always do, so why am I surprised? Just gonna take my powder brush and try to lessen the effect of that blush just a tad. Maybe my foundation brush as well. Okay, blush is done. That is really, really pretty. Mr. H as a blush on my skin tone looks very pretty. To me. I don't know, you might be looking at it and be like, ugh, that's gross. Who knows? Now I'm gonna go in with my Morphe M222 brush and I'm gonna go into the shade Mist. And this is such a beautiful blue shade. And with this one, I'm going to lightly and very, very carefully start to try and smoke it out on my lower lash line. I think that was the perfect touch. Now I'm also kind of realizing, and this is just like an aesthetic thing, but I'm realizing that this mirror is not the greatest being double-sided, but whenever you're holding it, you know, you're getting fingerprints all over the other side. Personally, if like the zoom isn't different on one of the sides, then I wouldn't really need it to be a mirror on both sides, but I would need both sides to be magnetized so it could stick in the palette. I would just rather it be magnetized on both sides and only have one side of the palette be a mirror. That way I'm not getting fingerprints all over the mirror on the other side. But I guess it's not made to not get your fingerprints on it. It's made to be functional. Now I'm gonna go back in with the E35 tapered blending brush from Sigma. This is the very first brush I used with the shade Modest, but I'm just gonna use this to blend out the shade Mist, just so it doesn't have any rough edges, but it can also blend into that skin tone type color. Okay, that's blended out all the way, and I think that I'm pretty happy with that blend. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and curl my lashes with my Benefit roller lash. I'm going to apply my Colourpop cream gel liner in the shade Insomniac in my waterline, and I'm gonna throw on a Colourpop lip crayon in the shade Chubby Bunny. Oh, that's cute. I'm gonna do those couple of things off camera and I will be right back with the officially final look. I changed my mind just a little bit and I went in with Gimme S'more instead of Chubby Bunny with the Colourpop Just a Tint lip crayon. And just so you guys know, makeup wipes and the oil from makeup wipes takes off printing on these, so be careful. And on the cream gel liners. So like Colourpop plastic, be careful with makeup remover around it. Anyway guys, this is the final look. Everything is done now. What do you think? Do you guys like the eye look? What do you think about this palette? Do you think it is worth the money? Do you think it's worth the wait from the UK? Have you heard of MmmMitchell? Do you like MmmMitchell? For me personally, and this is just my own opinion, you guys. You don't have to hold it to any value. You can hold it with a grain of salt if you like, but I really think this palette is pretty awesome and I really, really like it, and I would definitely buy it over and over again, and I would definitely recommend it, especially to a working makeup artist. This is like the epitome of variety. I mean, you just have so many different types of looks in here. You could really take just about every single row and make a look out of it, plus more than that. You know, you could have yellow neutral, red neutral, maroon neutral, pink neutral, or pink pink. You could have dark and vampy, more of a fall vibe. You could have a Christmas look. You could have a springy look because you have the bright green, the bright blue, the bright yellow, the bright orange. You get the point. It's very versatile. You can get a lot out of it. Plus, having the little mirror thing in the middle that sticks magnetically is just awesome. And the fact that it will stay up so that you can actually do your makeup with it is really, really cool. Now, granted, it was a little disappointing to have a shade in mine come in broken, and formula-wise, you definitely have to go into these shades very lightly because they do have a lot of kickback, but it's because they're so soft. You know, you barely tap into it and you get a lot of pigment out. So that lets you know also that you're gonna have a lot of time with each of these shades, and you're not gonna hit pan quite as fast as you would with a shade that you have to go into it more and more to build it up, because you get a lot of pigmentation and payoff with one dip into these pans. And the shimmer formula is beyond amazing. It is just really, really nice. So again, I would definitely recommend. And that concludes this look, this video, and this review. If you did enjoy this review and this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. It lets me know that you like my content, and it lets other people get suggested my videos. So it really, really helps me if you do. Also, if you like this look and you want to see more looks like them, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. My username is the same for everything. It's just ChristopherJMUA. And if you gain nothing out of this video, if you gain nothing out of any of my videos, please at least gain this, and that is to always remember and never forget that you are absolutely beautiful. And I love you guys. Bye.